Thank you for staying with us. We are also monitoring the situation in the Middle East as Israel says it will take into account the opinions of the United States, but will ultimately act against an Iranian missile attack based on its own national interests. A statement from the Prime Minister's office said he had assured the U.S. that Israel will target Iranian military installations rather than nuclear or oil facilities. We have more details in this report.
The United Nations says its peacekeepers will stay in Lebanon, despite repeated demands by Israel that they should move out of the way of its forces there. Lebanon says at least 21 people have been killed and 8 others injured in a rare Israeli strike in the north of the country.
I briefed the Security Council on the current state of affairs regarding UNIFIL. And obviously, it's a difficult situation. You're aware of the incident that took place over the last couple of days, 5 peacekeepers injured. And obviously, we have protested regarding the incident. We also reminded the parties that they have an obligation to respect the safety and security of the peacekeepers. Now, as you know, the decision was made that UNIFIL would currently stay in all its positions.
The strike hit a residential building in Aito, a mainly Christian village far from the areas where Israel has carried out strikes targeting Hezbollah. At least 45 Palestinians are killed in the latest wave of Israeli attacks across Gaza as Israel's siege of the north continues, with the army planting explosive-filled barrels to blow up homes. On day 11 of its ground invasion of northern Gaza, the Israeli army launched a major attack on the Al-Fallujah neighborhood in the besieged Jabalia refugee camp. Meanwhile, a group staged a sit-in with hundreds of people protesting the U.S. sending troops and aid to Israel. They say the purpose of the sit-in is to call for the U.S. to stop arming Israel as the Pentagon plans to deploy U.S. troops there.
Now, as I said, obviously our main call to all the parties is to respect their international obligation when it comes to protecting the safety and security of peacekeepers. I would also add that we need to make sure that the movements that need to be carried out by UNIFIL with the purpose of resupplying position, with the purpose of supporting the civilian population, those movements need to be deconflicted and they need to be also cleared by the parties, including the IDF.
Israel says it will consider U.S. opinion before responding to an Iranian missile attack, but will act based on its own national interest. The Israeli army launched 200 strikes across Lebanon in the past 24 hours as it expands its attacks against Hezbollah. In the United Kingdom, David Cameron has said he was planning to sanction 2 far-right Israeli ministers before the previous government left office. The former foreign secretary said he had been working up sanctions on Israeli finance minister and national security minister as a way of putting pressure on Netanyahu to act within international law. The health ministry in Gaza said at least 42,344 people have been killed in the war between Israel and Palestinian militants. The toll includes 55 deaths in the previous 24 hours. According to the ministry, which said 99,013 people have been wounded in the Gaza Strip since the war began when Hamas militants attacked Israel on October 7, 2023.